Hi guys, welcome. This week we're going to take a look at Nicky Sutton, who's got a really big thing about third eyes. Welcome to Jen's Little Corner.
How to use your third eye. Here I give a number of ways. Your third eye is your receiver of information outside of your 5 human senses.
Hey, just 5 senses, Nicky? Let's see. We have the usual sight, sound, taste, smell, touch. These we all know, but the last one's a little more interesting. Because science considers touch different to pressure. That's how tightly you squeeze things. And thermoperception, how hot and cold something is, as well as itch. We also have proprioception, which tells us where our body parts are, well, at least most of us, where our body parts are. Tensor senses, which enable our brain to monitor our muscles. And nociception, which in a word is pain. Equilibrioception, which is the sense of our balance. And magnetoception, which is the ability to sense magnetic fields, which we've recently discovered humans also have this ability. Plus there are a few others, maybe even including time. Though with most of the people I know, I doubt that one is true. So just 5 senses? Nah, I don't think so. Why, just now I've listed more than 10.
It's represented by the indigo chakra and the pineal gland, which is its physical form.
Look, Nicky, I don't know what counts for evidence where you come from, but fancy diagrams, naming colours and parts of the brain does not constitute scientific evidence. You're going to have to do a little bit better than that.
Most of us are not aware that it's there and not trained to use it, therefore. We believe our third eye is closed and needs opening, most of us.
And just, pray tell, how do you plan on doing that? Scalpel?
When it merely requires focus, exercise and practice.
Oddly, it sounds like potty training.
You receive information using your third eye all the time, but this information is largely ignored. We're unaware of it, or it's considered unreliable information.
Or alternatively, you're talking out your butt and need some more potty training yourself.
It's represented physically as the pineal gland, located at the centre of the brain and contains water, rods and cones similar to an actual eye.
Amazingly enough, some of this is true. The pineal gland actually does, in some vertebrates, contain rods and cones. Or rods or cones. Usually it doesn't contain both, but it does depend on the particular vertebrate you're talking about. But it is wrong to state that it just contains water and rods and cones. There are other brain type cells, including neurons, in the pineal gland, and the reasons for the rods and cones seem to be more related to an evolutionary process where our earlier ancestors had more translucent structures around their brains, and so the pineal could actually sense light, and this enabled it to detect the circadian rhythms to allow vertebrates to know when to sleep, a function which the pineal gland still does in us today. It is also believed that the pineal gland also has some inward perception of light from what comes through your eyes and senses back, but this isn't proven one way or the other. It's just an interesting little side note and not a statement of being a visual cortex, because in the sense that Nicky's talking about, she doesn't want a visual cortex that actually sees things like our eyes. She's after something that senses something beyond that, something supernatural. And rods and cones just aren't going to cut that, Nicky. You need a bit more evidence here.
Why would we have an eye in the centre of our brain? What's it seeing or sensing?
As I've already explained to you, Nicky, our vertebrate ancestors were more translucent of body, and therefore the pineal gland could actually detect the light through the body. This enabled the pineal gland to better control sleep rhythms, circadian rhythms, in our vertebrate ancestors. Nothing more complex than that at all. The fact that we still have rods or cones in modern pineal glands is just proof of the evolutionary nature of this organ. It was there in the past, it's still there. There hasn't been any reason for it to evolve to disappear or evolve into a new function. Pretty simple.
The truth is that the third eye doesn't just see, and that would be your clairvoyance seeing.
Clairvoyance. Seeing. No, I think you'll find, Nicky, that most of us actually see with our eyes. There is no scientific evidence for any form of psychic abilities. And it'd be lovely if you could show me evidence for these things, but every single test that we have done in science that has been properly monitored, properly controlled for, has shown no psychic abilities. So you've got an awful lot of work to do to convince me that clairvoyance is real.
It also receives audio, that's clairaudience, physical sensation, feelings and emotions of others, that's clairsentience, and information as a sense of just knowing something, that's claircognizance.
Oh, damn you, Nicky. I think I'm getting a pain in my bullshit detector.
Plus your intuition, and I'll get into how to receive these in a moment.
Now, intuition is basically just our brain's ability to draw on our past experiences to come up with an expected outcome to a situation. Nothing more, nothing less. Our brain is a creative thing. It works on the evidence we have around us to try and come up with a logical picture of everything that's happening to us or can happen to us, because our brains fantasize all the time. So the reality here is, Nicky, you're mistaking your brain's own creative abilities for the supernatural.
You can also connect and transmit using your third eye. For example, when we connect with our higher self for channeling through higher wisdom and foresight, we reach out energetically during meditation, and this activity centers around the third eye.
Reach out energetically and connect with the universe. Oh, this is spirit science levels of woo, isn't it, Nicky? Chakras, eyes, reaching out, energies, vibrations. You have got the whole shebang here. I mean, if you throw in space Jews now, I am going to wet myself laughing.
The third eye connects us to all that is, so we can receive foresight of what is to come through premonitions or precognition, perhaps a vision of what is to come or a claircognizant knowing of the future. The third eye transcends the illusion of time.
Hate to break it to you, Nicky, time is not an illusion. The experiments we do with relativity that show changes in time between objects moving at different velocities show that time is real. The fact that entropy increases over time shows that entropic time is real. As far as we know, our universe is a closed system, so time will continue to move forward on its entropic path until the universe is no more. Time is real. And you're an idiot.
Other people can knowingly or unknowingly pick up on our thoughts, physical sensations and emotions as we send these energies out into reality. Their third eyes receive this information.
No. We don't send out little energy signals like radio waves. that people can pick up with their little antennas in their heads. That doesn't happen. What we do send out is body signals and language clues that other people can pick up on, because we're a social species and we learn these things to let us know something about what somebody else is feeling. Because, generally speaking, we're all empathic. We all have empathy for each other. I mean, granted, some people show no fucking empathy at all, but most of us have empathy. And I think, Nicky, perhaps you should use a bit more empathy and stop peddling woo at people.
So I'm here to tell you that you're likely already using your third eye, but taking it for granted. Now, your pineal gland may need a good detox, and that's a separate video, which is this one, on how to detox your third eye.
Yep, here you go, Nicky. Let's show your other videos and get them really wheeling into the little bits of woo you're selling them. But in all seriousness, detoxing your brain? Really? I mean, we've got organs in our body that are pretty fucking good at detoxing the stuff that's within us. For example, if you drink lots of alcohol, your kidneys and liver are going to do an absolutely fabulous job of getting rid of it. Well, as long as your kidneys and liver are still functioning, that is. So, as far as actually detoxing your pineal gland, I think we're pretty good.
Number 1, on how to use your third eye by using your intuition. Intuition is received through the third eye, subtly, easily, and spontaneously.
No. As I already said, Nicky, intuition is about our brain summing up our experiences so that we can better react to the stimuli around us. It's just a normal part of the function of our brains. We see it as this precognitive sort of thing because our brain looks for patterns. So previous things that we've experienced help us pick up patterns for things that will happen in the future, so that we get a sort of like a precursor of what might happen forming within our brain. This is not seeing the future. This is not anything supernatural. It's just our brain's normal way of dealing with this world around us. Because we have to preempt some of what happens around us. For example, you would find it very, very hard to drive a car if your brain wasn't constantly examining what was happening around you and looking for pitfalls. The number of accidents we would get into without our brain's ability to preconceive things that could go wrong or might go right would be astronomical. This is a natural brain function, and it evolved from us being out in the plains and having to survive. There's nothing supernatural here.
You subconsciously process those feelings of the right or wrong thing to do, the best way forward, or the potential outcomes of something. Your subconscious mind may present this to your conscious mind as a feeling or just knowing.
Okay, how can you be so disingenuous as to present this description, which is pretty much right, and then go on to say, oh, but supernatural? No, you just explained that your brain was processing the information it was supplied to give you this sense of feeling of what may or may not happen. There's nothing supernatural here. It's just your body's natural ability, your brain's natural ability to process information and enable your survivability. Evolution at work. That's the miracle here, if you can call evolution a miracle. That is where you should look at the wonder. Not this bullshit that isn't real, that we have no evidence for, that you have not provided any evidence for, that you have just asserted.
And we often ignore this and instead make a logical, fact-based, conscious decision. But where is the information coming from that our third eye is receiving?
Well, I've already explained that the pineal gland is not a third eye. But as to where the information comes from, it comes from all our actual senses. Our sight, our hearing, our taste, our touch, and all the other ones I was describing to you. Our brain processes these and gives us feelings and responses to those things. Pretty simple, hey? We don't need anything supernatural because the natural is brilliant enough as it is.
Well, it could be part of you, your higher self or soul, or even your guides, those who you travel with through time and space.
Citation needed. There is no evidence for a soul, or angels, or spirit guides. If you could provide evidence for these things, we might have somewhere to start from. But just asserting that these things are real does not prove your case. Does not show me that such a thing as a third eye exists. So far this video has been nothing but assertion, and I don't expect it to get any better.
Or your third eye is simply picking up on the code, the information in reality, and relaying it through your subconscious as a sense of knowing, a gut feeling, or even feeling really excited about something, a project or outcome, because you just know it'll be great. So my suggestion on how to use your third eye is to stop worrying if it's open and functioning and start paying attention to information that's already coming through.
So basically you're saying, Nicky, listen to your emotions, follow the clues that your subconscious is giving you, and have faith in all the bullshit that you're peddling. Seriously, Nicky, we are hardly any way through this video, and you've done nothing but assert, as I've said. And I see no evidence going forward that anything about the third eye can be actually true. You've picked an organ that has other functions. You've asserted that it can see just because there are rods and cones. And you've called intuition a psychic ability, when we know it's just the way our brain processes the information around us. I think you're a little lacking in the evidence here, Nicky. But what do you lot all think? Has Nicky failed to show that third eyes exist? Should I continue with this onto the other 7 steps for opening your third eye and using it that Nicky's on about? I think for now, to save my brain and yours, I will stop. But please let me know in the comments what you think and whether I should look into Nicky a bit more. And remember, like, subscribe, and don't choke on the selfie stick.